Hello YouTube, this is the 2009 Volkswagen Jetta TDI, and I've got a problem I've got to fix that I have fixed sort of before on this car. I'm going to show you how to do it today. It's what happens when you have a leaking sunroof drain that causes your carpet to become soaking wet. 2 years ago I had this problem on the driver's side and I fixed it, and now I've got the problem on the passenger side. As you can see, this is the driver's side. Underneath the rubberized floor mats, this is totally dry carpet here. Now I know it is dirty, of course, but dry carpet. Now last night we had a thunderstorm here, and the passenger side drain has apparently plugged itself up because the passenger side carpet is soaking wet. Okay, so there is a bunch of water. So what we have to do to get the carpet dry is remove the seat and remove the carpet and the trim pieces that are securing it, and pull up the carpet and the pad and get a fan in here going to dry out thoroughly the carpet and the pad, so that we don't have any mold, because otherwise this will never dry out, and you're going to just have standing water in your car. It's going to very quickly start smelling like mold. This unfortunate part is when the way this problem occurs, it can be a while sometimes before you realize you've got a problem if you have those rubberized floor mats you saw, because the water comes up from the bottom and it just soaks the carpet. And the rubberized floor mat is protecting your feet from getting wet, so you don't realize there's a problem necessarily right away until you start to smell a little musty smell, or you just happen to check the condition of your carpet. And especially if you're not carrying a passenger and you just get in on the driver's side. Anyway, I fixed this 2 years ago on the driver's side when I had a clog on the driver's side, and now 2 years later I got a clog on the passenger side. So I'll show you what I mean by, in the back, here's the rubber floor mat, and underneath is the water, but the rubber floor mat here, there is a little bit of water here, but it could have been from having a passenger in my back seat. I'm not really sure if it got there because of the leak or not. Regardless, these rubber floor mats can make it hard to detect the fact that there is a leak here. So pull this out and get the rubber floor mats out here to dry so and get air access to the thing. So here's what happens. The sunroof has 4 drains to each corner, and the ones for the front, they run down this way to the A-pillar, and then they run in here behind this airbag and down right here, and they terminate into the frame of the car behind this panel. They go into the body of the car, and inside the body of the car is a drain to the outside, and there's also some insulation material in there. I don't really understand why there's this insulation material in there. If it's just for air conditioning and heating efficiency, I don't know. It seems kind of unnecessary to me. But regardless, the tube dumps out there and is supposed to drain down below the car. What'll happen is over time, dirt collects back in the compartment back there where there's the insulation and the hole for the sunroof to drain. And if the dirt plugs up that hole, then the tube is fine. It drains into the cavity of the body of the car, but then it starts running back out, and then it runs down and it soaks through the carpet and padding here on the footwell in the front, and then it makes, as the water continues to come in, it just spreads all the way back. Now it'll stop right here, you know, because it's not rising up. It goes basically back to the passenger, and right around here you'll have a transition from wet to dry. So here it's dry, and it right about here starts getting wet, at least here. Now the padding underneath it might go up just a little bit further. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is disconnecting the battery so that I can have the doors open for, well, it's going to take several hours here and dry, with a fan going to get the carpet and the pad underneath dry. So I don't want the dome lights to kill my battery from having the doors open, so I'm going to disconnect the negative battery. I've also got all 4 windows down to let in as much fresh air in here to help dry it out, especially once I get the carpet lifted up. So that's step 1. This is the 2-liter common rail TDI motor. We're just going to disconnect the negative battery, which is right here under the hood. If you have a different motor but same body style car, like say the 2.5 gasoline motor or 2-liter turbo or something like that, your battery may be in a different place, but still probably is a 10 millimeter to loosen the 10 millimeter, or to loosen the negative battery. You need to remove the passenger seat. First step in that is getting rid of this plastic cover underneath the passenger seat. Just lift up on these tabs here on the side if necessary. Mine doesn't even really require that. It comes out really easy on mine, but there are these tabs here on the side, and if yours is in there, and then these hooks right here on the bottom, just slide it forward, and this is what you're left with underneath that. So what we're going to end up doing is taking out the passenger seat, which I'll show you how to do momentarily. Okay, there's a couple things we're going to be removing right now. The seat and also this control module. I'm not exactly sure what this control module goes to without referencing my manual. Possibly transmission, possibly analog brakes, possibly ECU. I don't know off the top of my head, to be honest. But we're going to get it removed, and in order to do that, we're going to need a couple Torx bits. This is a triple square bolt, and also to remove the seats, you want to slide your seat all the way rearward, and then you've got these triple square bolts right here. Okay, triple square is kind of a German special tool that they use. AutoZone or Advanced Auto Parts sells a pack of 4 triple square tools for about $10 or $12. The most common sizes. That is absolutely good enough to use on these. This particular bolt I'm going to be taking out first. It's on both sides. It's an M10 triple square 12-point star. When you slide the seat all the way forward, it gives you access to the 2 rear triple square bolts right there and right there. Once all 4 triple square bolts are out, the seat will tilt. It's now releasable, so we're going to tilt it backward. To reveal the wiring harness, which runs through this cutout in the carpeting and connects up under here to the seat. And it may be all we can do at the moment. Once the seat has rocked back, you've got your wiring harness coming from the seat. This little access panel rocks back, and there's a plastic connector right here that snaps into this hole to hold it on. You just pull this out if you need to get pliers, and then you need to carefully disconnect all of these electrical connectors. Make sure your negative battery is disconnected, and make sure that you are gentle removing these connectors. You don't want to break them. First one to come out is the big black one. It's just got to push tab here, push the tab in, and pull straight up and out. Next one to come out is this one. It's got this blue tab. I got a flathead screwdriver. This is spring loaded. You gotta use a flathead screwdriver to pull up this locking pin, and while you're holding it up with the flathead screwdriver, pull straight up. Next one is the yellow one. Take your flathead screwdriver, push down, and pull up, and it should release. I'm going to need 2 hands. final one comes out by just pushing this tab like that direction. Okay. Now the seat has come out. I recommend having a helper to prevent damaging either the seat or your car. These metal rungs on the bottom of your seat can rip the leather and scratch up your plastic center console trim if you're not careful. I also had the most success going out the rear door. There may be other ways to do it, not sure. But I would recommend a helper for sure. So take this opportunity, clean up the coins and the other junk under your seat, and then we can go about removing the module you see there that's housed under the seat, and then getting the carpet lifted up to dry. These two screws right here are T30. Right here, I thought I was recording when I took these out, and evidently I wasn't. These T30 screws come out, Torx bit 30. We are going to take these two M6 screws out to get this electronic controller unit plate out. This wiring harness disconnects like this. Push this down and this back, and it forces it out just like that. Very easy. I try and keep that connector out of any water. And now thankfully that metal plate hopefully saved the unit from any damage. Put this somewhere safe where it can dry. Alright, here's the panel where the sunroof drain goes. This panel I was able to just wiggle loose. I got back here and I pulled that out. I slid this piece out wide, and this piece is tucked up under. First you want to get this tab out from under here, and then this one is tucked up under there. That'll come out second and go forward. And I got this tape, which is worthless at this point, which holds, this is your sunroof drain right here, and it goes into this hole, as you can see. And you can see it's not clogged in there, and if I were to pour water on the sunroof, it would run water down. But as long as that stays in there, it just drains down into there. Well, when this hole becomes clogged down in there, then you can't, then it backs up out of there and the water runs down here and drains, gets all that wet. And you do see evidence of dirt in there. That's what's gotten in there and clogged it up. Slowly try and work back this trim so I can get to the carpeting. Just gently but firmly pull up. You're snapping these things out of their slots. These tabs go into these slots. Okay, and at this point now this slides out. You're going to have your seat belt back here. There's this piece that disconnects. I'm going to have to go back to the back seat. And keep coming back here. I'm trying to do my best to film and get this out one-handed, so my apologies for shaky camera movements. And I also obviously don't want to break this. I'm gonna step on that. Okay, got that out. Perfect. This whole thing is gonna lift up, and the joint is right here. Just got to get that to give me this. Oh, come on, baby. Alright, I might have to, we'll see what's going on here. Might have to remove the seat. This is the final little piece holding the trim in, and you just gotta pop it off. First pry up on it, and then once you get it pried up on, then you can unscrew it the rest of the way. Another little screw you gotta pry out and twist, pry and twist at the same time with a screwdriver. And then this piece comes out. In here is a T15 Torx bit. Loosen that with your Torx driver, and then this just will pull out of here. And we're getting to the point where we can wrap the carpeting. We'll pull the carpeting out of here. Okay. Really don't want that. Ew, gross. Basically what I want to show you is right here, this carpeting connects and goes up under here across. There's no reason that I can't cut this right here. Once the trim's back on, you'll never see this cut. But anyway, I cut this with a box cutter as high as I could get, and that allows me to pull this up. And now I'm going to get some 2x4s to prop this up, because you see the water in here, and here's the pad that I can now work pulling up. That's what we're dealing with here. So it's going to take a long time for this to dry. Lots of towels, a shop vac, fans. So probably won't be able to drive this car tomorrow. Three days later, and this fan's been running in here non-stop after drying the cooling water as much as possible with towels and a shop vac. Granted, it's been running in my garage because there's been, you know, other storms moving through the area, but the carpet and pad is finally all dry. Water has all successfully evaporated. So anyway, we can now go about fixing the plug drain and putting it back together. I wasn't able to record the process of actually clearing the drain, but what you see here is a dirty, foamed up place where the clog occurs. So I've ripped out some foam using a drill and pulling it out with some tweezers. Use multiple size drill bits. Just get the hole as big as you can so this doesn't happen again. Alright, we're testing the drain. So far, so good.